Just a quick update. I have Jason McGinnis. I was going to do a video today with Jason McGinnis and Jason Merriman, but Jason is a tough bugger. He was sick the last 3 days, Merriman, and both of them. You know, we all grew up not that different in age. I guess Jason Merriman's a little bit younger. Jason's closer to my age, McGinnis, and grew up a little bit differently. For any of you that have had the pleasure of dealing with our youngest generation that is coming up in the workforce, not the most battle-tested group of individuals. We found, I can't speak for all of them, obviously. It's unfair to do that, and we've had some girls here that are a little bit younger that come in and they're a little under the weather and they're still working through it. There was no days off for me, right? When I was driving, that's how I made my money. So even if you were a little bit sick, that's why there was Tylenol, right? And some Gatorade. And when it comes to coming into the burn, I'm certainly not going to ask anybody to come in when they're under the weather, especially after a pandemic. But it says a lot. I never asked Jason Merriman to come back in. You know, he's been sick the last 3 days, and I never asked him to come in, never asked him to stay, and always said, you know, if you're not feeling good, go home. But leading by example is a big thing, right? And Jason got all his work done, qualified horses on Thursday afternoon, come in on Friday, went with all the babies, never complained once. Come in today, started jogging in the rain, and then as things slowed down and we started weeding horses, this one doesn't need to go and this one doesn't need to go. As it was pouring rain. As we did that, Jason then, we kind of pushed him out, shoved him out, sent him home. And both these guys play a big role when it comes to the burn operating. You can just put it back on the side. The burn operating properly. I was just telling you about Jason being a little under the weather. And leading by example is important, right? And then you have some of the. I don't want to pick on the younger generation, right? I sound like my father or my grandfather. When I was a kid, you know, I don't want to be that guy, but it just seems like it never dawns on me when I'm not feeling good. It's not like, guess I got to take a day off. I just got to get over this. No, it's take a couple of Tylenol, go to work and get your job done. And that doesn't always translate well to the next generation. I don't think of the youngest generation. We've had a number of 60s. Yeah, I don't want to point fingers, but it seems like a lot of sick days. But hey, that happens too. Listen, I would rather somebody be here and feel good.
Well, you knew we had 18 going the bike Thursday between the qualifiers and the trainers, and then yesterday we videoed, so he toughed it out. Listen, I'm pretty sure if it was a Monday, Tuesday, he might have tapped out.
Which is there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. When it comes to but it goes a long way, right? One, to show leadership, and two, the work ethic, right? And this is how the burn operates properly. We have that core group of people that come in. Jason's been in plenty of times, and I know that time he spread COVID to everybody. Remember that time? But coming in and getting the job done is the job, right? So a big thanks to him and Jason for doing that. And it's been a rough week. Rough in a good sense, just a long week, right? I know I told everybody in my videos that I felt a little greedy. You know, you get beat with Kemp. I get away, I get the trip I want. And he finished a second, a good mile. The horse in the front got it. I didn't care at the time. I just didn't think there was any way I could lose. And then you lose, and you whine a little bit. But Kemp raced good, right? And then yesterday,
probably too many videos. Maybe Jeremy Indoff watches the videos and knew you weren't removing.
I think he knows.
He just slammed the brakes on.
I told the lady there was multiple claims in on that horse too, not one or two, multiple claims. And the lady that got the horse, I told her after I was up front with her and said, "Listen, his knees bother him quite a bit. He won't take the torture training all the time, and you can't put him on the front. Put him on the front, he'll feel good and he'll walk." So they'll do good with him in that class. But, I was left feeling greedy. And then Patrick DePrano yesterday got everything my own way. But the horse in the front's no pig. He's dropping out of the open, too, and a nice horse. And it was a good mile. But, he's just, he raced good. And I'm left. Yesterday I got to the track. I'm like, Irish Ray, I don't know. I have no faith in Irish Ray. Here's a horse that won 19 out of 20 races at 2 and 3 and has gone out of his way to been defeated his last 3 starts. Just haul the victory haul the loss out of the jaws of victory his last 3 starts and did it again yesterday. How many times do you get to move 3 deep and know that I can advance past the leader and say, no. I'm not going to give him the opportunity to get me this time. I'm going to sit outside and wait till Ronnie's good and done. Then I'm going to pull the earplugs and go forward. And as all this is transpiring, he's 1 step ahead of me. He's already backpedaling. So now he doesn't want to advance on the right. I get to drop in behind Ronnie, braven up for 3 or 4 pylons, go to the inside where Dean said he went by. I'm going to need to see this video of Dean training him the other day. He said he went by 3 horses on the inside. That maybe Dean needs to drive him because he was not going to go by for me. Started him up the inside and he hung like the biggest grape on earth.
They come 33, you might have got.
We could have went around for 10 more minutes. He wasn't going by.
Sorry, Fred.
No, my mom says, you shouldn't say those things, but I sent her a big emoji of a pig after the race, and she was mad.
I watched it, and I'm like, oh, it's 126 flat. No, 50.
Yeah. No, in fairness, it was 126 and 4. 26 and 4. 31 and 1. It felt like 3 days from the head of the lane to the wire. And we could have went around 10 more times, and he never would have went by that horse. Anyway, whatever, the horse finished second again. I'm glad that he's racing good for my parents, and surely to God he'll win one of these weeks, but he definitely turned away 2 victories his last 2. So I'm left, I'm saying, he should have won, right? So you're agreeing, like, Greatest Ending can't lose. The way he raced the other day, can't lose. And then did lose. And then I get screamed at after the race by a little girl. That was cool. And then Scope 3 out of 5. I just, so frustrating and hard to wrap my head around it. The only thing I can think is that he did bleed a little bit last week, and he raced so good we didn't check, we didn't scope him. Maybe he bled like 1 out of 5 and left to his own vices, because this is a different animal. Everything is so structured around him. Don't wind him up. You got to keep him quiet every day, jog him at the same time, because you don't want him to tie up. You got to work hard on his feet. And then, lo and behold, he had this issue with his bleeding. Now, this isn't the first time he's done this. When Mark and Melissa had the horse, they put him on Lasix also. This isn't the first time he's bled.
After winning for them.
Yeah, 50, he went in 50 in the piece, and then they put him on Lasix. Yeah. So, I mean, there's a key example, too. He raced so good. We didn't scope him. And then he bled his next start. Anyway, I wanted to believe that a component of him coming back good was him not being on Lasix. I hope that's not the case, because he is going to have to go on Lasix next week. Did you see the pylon? Did you watch the race? The pylon blowout in front of the...
No.
Oh my God. So I made fun of Hunter. What had happened was Hunter looked like he may have got squeezed, and then went inside a pylon, chopped the pylon off. The pylon flew up and landed directly in front of Greatest Ending. I mean, it was like God himself just dropped a pylon in front of him, and he skipped right over it and come right up pacing. And Hunter was so mad after the race. Of course, I had to get him going. So Hunter's mad. He's fuming because they set him back. It looked to me like maybe he would get squeezed. I didn't see all the views, so I don't know. But Hunter's like quiet. You know how somebody's mad, but they don't want to boil over in front of everybody. So there's like 5 or 6 people around, and they're all kind of quiet. They don't want to get Hunter angry. And like, Hunter's a good kid, and he takes it good because he hands it out too. So we're sitting there. I said, guys, everybody just take your helmets off. There's a 20-minute delay. We just got to pick up all the styrofoam for around the first turn. And I thought Hunter was going to explode. His face just got red, and then he flipped out, and it was great. So, anyway, it was very, very good. Anyway, I was super happy in hindsight. Patrick DeProna raced great again, right? And usually you can't leave them, but I'm watching Aaron, and I'm saying I don't want Aaron to get away in front of me to back him into the 5-hole to come first over. So as soon as he stepped on the gas, I stepped on the gas. I got away in a perfect spot behind him. He can beat fair and square. Unbeatable can't beat fair and square. And for me to be angry at either race would be nothing short of greed. And Freddie, I don't want to talk about Freddie. This past week, we had Collector. I thought he raced good. You know, you imagine the stress and pressure that Stacy and Brett were under. They raced 4 horses Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. All 4 made breaks. For those of you who don't know, and it would be like us qualifying a horse and then making a break, and then qualifying the next week and making a break. I did that with insider trading last year. It's an enormous amount of stress. Plus, you have horses for people. You want to see them and act like professionals, and these horses are making breaks, and there's nothing more stressful than that. Well, there is, but very few things. So you could see Collector get out of gear in the first turn, get out of gear a little bit, threw his head once, and Brett just said, no, I can't take this. And he just filed him to the outside and ended up first over. Not his cup of tea, but raced good. Raced good, drug the favorite right up into the race, and then ended up getting beat on the inside for horse second. I thought the horse raced well. Blanton's Blue got screamed at. Rough week for me.
Yeah.
Little girl get yelled at me yesterday. A certain driver.
Old white-haired man.
I don't want to say who it was, but a profanity-laced rant during the race. During the race. I only got 12 seconds of it. Chris Lems then told me that, no, it started way back before the quarter pole. So we're looking at almost 3/8 of a mile of pure anger. And then the horse made a break on it, which only exasperated the entire situation and made it compound into something. Luckily, I didn't have to go back into the driver's room. I'm sure he was not happy. But the thing with Blanton's Blue is, I got off the gate good, but I wanted to either follow Elliot Deaton or Kurt Sugg. Or Greg. I would have followed Greg. But nobody was coming. Now, did they think that maybe I would burn them into the ground when they came? I think that I may have created the monster in itself, because for you to go 29-4, 101-2 in the non-winners of 4 and no one move, if Blanton had been 4-1, we would have been better off, I think. But he was 8-5. Kurt's horse makes a break leaving. I see him in my periphery make the break. I'm like, that's all right. I'll get over quick in front of Elliot, and then I'll jam the brakes on. Elliot will come back around, sit in the 2-hole. Bob's your uncle. Didn't work out that way. And as soon as Blanton gets away in the front, he turns into Bullwinkle. He just dawdles and dawdles. And if you rough him up in the middle of the mile, I know what he does. He'll get wound up, and he'll go charging into the next turn and make a break. I've seen him do it. I already know what he's going to do. And he's got me rooked. I can't do anything about it. Because if I leave him the way he is, I'm about to get screamed at. If I try and wind him up, he's going to make a break. He's got me over a barrel. So I got to leave him alone till Greg comes to me, screaming, anger, and makes a break. And then Joey comes. Joey almost clears me. And I felt bad. Joey's never won a race yet. I can't let him go there. So I got to go to the whip to keep Joey out, because they will literally string me up from the grandstand if I let Joey go right there. 100%. So I just leave him alone. It's a nice truck. Mm-hmm. I just leave him out and end up third beat a neck. Joey's fourth beat half a length.
The key for the trailer, for the power thing, was on the keys to the truck, and I realized that when we were on a dog.
So we have a trailer. It's pretty cool. It's got like an automatic jack. I'm terrified that the jack, you got to check the fluid in that too. I did last time, but it takes, don't quote me on that. I forget. I was going to say transmission fluid, but I don't know. Some sort of fluid goes in there. That's not water. And what happens when the jack breaks? Someday it breaks. How do we jack it up and down? Is there a thing?
About the same as you lose the key. You're in trouble. You gotta go somewhere.
We should get an extra key.
I just said that to him.
Oh, don't like that.
He backed the truck up, and I went, "Where's the key?" I started leaving the key on the keychain for the truck.
Yes,
but that truck's not.
So we're gonna have to get another key made.
We're just gonna have to get another key made.
Maybe two. Just keep one hidden. So Collector raced good. Blanton's Blue raced good. You just have to know Blanton's Blue. And again, if we get the earplugs on one, it's April, his second start of the year. I don't think we need the earplugs, because I'm not going to put them on the front. Had I thought I'd end up on the front, would have had earplugs on him. Anyway, he raced okay. And the one thing I'd said to Jason, his stakes don't start for 2 months. We have all the power right now. We're going to get right through that numbers of 2 right up to 4. Most of those horses we can price along the way and make sure they stay in there. Like
he'd go for 45,000.
Yeah.
He can win 5 races here.
100%. And I hope he goes to the New York Sire Stakes with 6 wins, 7 wins on his 6 wins on his program.
He can win 5 more in that class.
7 wins on his program. That'd be great. That would be best case scenario. The only one that I probably wouldn't price out of the whole bunch we have rattled in there is Insider Trading. Obviously, I don't want to really price her, but she doesn't need to be. She's leaving to go race in that series in another 2 weeks. Born to Dance, another good example. We can put a tag on him. This is the position we want to be in right now. So Collector and Blanton's Blue both race good. Unbeatable Kemp race great. Irish Ray race great. Greatest ending 6, pace 53, 28, 3, 3 out of 5 for Blood. Pretty good mile from that horse. Did his work well. Somebody messaged me and said, you're driving him, you're keeping him way back and you're driving him real easy. Are you worried to race him? Is there a problem with not having hobbles on? But you have to build confidence, right? Those horses are used to having hobbles on their whole life, and sometimes when you step on the gas in a weird place, they believe that you can just, bounce forward and they'll make a break. So I want him consistently to stop looking for the hobbles and use his intelligence, uses speed, which he is. Very, very fast horse. Yesterday was a hiccup, but again, once we put the Lasix into him, I'm sure he'll be fine. I hope he'll be fine. As I said, Patrick the Piranha race good. 3-point blue chip. I didn't see his video, so I went and watched it. I missed the replay. I missed the race last night. Looked a little flat. Yeah, no, you didn't miss much. And I know it's frustrating for Tom because, we waited for him to come back. We operated on that foot last year to try and get him ready for the stake races at the end of the year. It didn't work out. Gave him all the time in the world to come back. Whole year off, I think. And they had him come back and just, by all accounts, they believed he was going to be an open trotter. And he just has not turned that page, turned that corner. And I feel bad for Andy and Julie. It must be a frustrating feeling because I know when I'm talking to Tom every so often, Tom's like, if he's as good as I hope, everybody will be happy. And he just hasn't. But there's a lot that goes into that. So I wouldn't.
But he's missed a year.
It's so hard. Yeah,
twice.
So hard to get a horse in shape like that. So we're just going to have to watch it play out. Just watch it play out.
That's a lot of time off.
Yeah, it is. So tonight we get Renegade Gypsy 9:30 right after that. Stay Special is going to race. I was telling everybody earlier her AST was a little bit high, but I think we caught it in time. I think we'll be able to treat it up good. This week coming we have Kenobi. Now this is Kenobi's on Monday. So are all Yo Misters in also, and then we got Kentucky starting. Now I wasn't going to go to Kentucky. I was going to go race Unbeatable Camp at the claiming series at the Poconos. That was skirted by him being claimed, and I thought we'd have other horses in, and we didn't get any other ones in. So I pivoted quickly and said, okay, I'm not going to Pennsylvania. The kids are at spring break. There's nothing in Nashville. It's not a very kid-friendly town.
Never been.
If anybody's out there and you are familiar with Nashville, I Googled it online and looked. I couldn't find anything for our family to do on Monday evening. Kids are going to go to Great Wolf Lodge on Sunday in Cincinnati on the way down. That was a promise I made Daddy. So Addie, she's so pumped. So when she goes to school, it's almost like she gets a daily grade. She gets red is you had a bad day. Orange is you didn't have a good day. Green is you had an okay day. Blue, pretty good day. And then purple, perfect day, Addie. So every week she'll have 1 or 2 purples. And I told her, I said, if you get a full week of purples, I'll take you to the jump place. I was going to take her there anyway. But I'll take you to the jump place. So last week she had 3 purples. She was mad. She only got 2 blues. She was mad. This week she goes, we have Friday off, so I only need 4. She was smart enough to figure out she only needed 4 purples this week. I said, yeah. She worked hard. She got all 4 purples. She ran through the door to tell me I had 4 purples this week. So today they go to the jump place. Tomorrow they're going to Great Wolf Lodge on their spring break. And then we're going down to Kentucky Monday, Tuesday. Monday we're going to race. The hotel's fine, but you've never been to Oak Grove. Yeah. It's like an army town. Like there's an army base as big as Guelph across the street. You can't get in there.
You said you see it from the hotel.
Absolutely. If you look over there, you can see it. The razor wire, like it's a massive community. So I don't know if there's razor wire. There's a big, tall wall. And I can tell you one thing: you're not blowing through the front gate. The first week I was there last year, I typed in Starbucks. Yeah, there's a Starbucks on the army base. You turn right to go into that base. There's 2 lanes with gentlemen with rifles in all 4 lanes waiting there. I'm like, whoa, I come up, hey. He goes, you have your ID? I said, I'm assuming you're asking for Army ID? He said, yes. I said, no, I don't. He goes, you got to turn around and leave. And this gentleman was not playing around. This was a very, very large assault rifle. So don't go to the Starbucks in Fort Mc something, I think. Anyway, you'll know it when you go into town. The whole town is Army, which is cool. But nothing really for kids to do in that town. Nothing for adults to do for the most part in that town. You went to Nashville, which is 45 minutes away. It's cool. Nice town. Lots of bars for adults to go out into, but not a whole lot for kids. And this week we have... Now, I'll tell everybody. So we have 5 horses in Kentucky. I think all 5 are coming in sharp. Now, I'll give you a quick rundown of all 5. Militant trained fantastic here yesterday at 1.5 miles, 2:12. He's tight enough to go. James said he schooled good and qualified good. I trained him. Different horse. He looked very, very good training yesterday. Paycheck Princess, same as I remember her last year. Hanging on the right line a bit. Being a little bit sulky. She's in a maiden. She should do some damage. The future of her with us in 2024 will be hanging in the balance over the next 3 weeks. because she needs to show me what she can do. Now, we weren't training them hard on Friday. We weren't coming Friday back Monday with these horses and training them hard. So I couldn't really get a full view of what they were capable of doing and not doing. But Militant looked very good to me. Paycheck Princess, still, she's in a maiden. She should be able to do some damage. Tuesday, I'll tell you what, Lover's Play. Now, they said she trained good yesterday. She's been racing good. How tough is the maiden going to be down there for her? I don't know, but I suspect she'll be okay. Not really sure. Next two are the ones in Instrument Mills. Brace for Landing qualified great and trained fantastic this week. He's coming into the backup class. It's hard to discern on the entries going by how much money they made or how fast they won, how good they are. I don't know, but he's coming in razor sharp. And the horse that surprised me the most was Kings County. I will tell everybody this. Made a break on Monday. We brought him up here. Dr. Latessa looked at him, did some work at him. We changed his shoes. I trained him at Northfield Park in 58. Now, here's a horse that I never thought would get around Northfield Park. Even when I qualified him, he never really gave me that warm, fuzzy feeling that, geez, we could race him here. He did the other day. And I don't know whether it was the shoeing or it was the equipment changes we made or it was the vet work we did. The horse was very, very, very good. Now, was he beat the Open at Oak Grove good? I can't say that. But I can tell you one thing. He's got the rail. I'm not taking him off the gate. You know, he's going out of there and he's going to get raced on Tuesday. And by the way he looks right now and the way he feels and the way he trained, I don't know who I'm in with, but he's going to have a good outing. I'm sure of that. Now, what else took place this week? I think that's it, right? May 26th. Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, the rest of the first part of the week wasn't really worth talking about. Somebody said, geez, you okay? You didn't do any videos? Well, when they all run, you don't really have a great start to the week. So I'm very happy with the way the qualifiers went. I guess if I look, I think I still have a list of the qualifiers. You and I can talk about them quick. I had a list right here. Drafts. Right here. Got it. So, you saw the horses qualify, same as I did. No, I thought the horse that really wowed me the most, Tactical Mounds was amazing. I told everybody, you train Tactical Mounds down. Scotty gave me a little chirp about Tactical Mounds. I said, but I would have had to pull her over backwards to go mount 58 or 59 with her. I thought she was very, very good. Did you jog her since then? Yeah. How was she? Good? Yeah, good. Green Tea was rather impressive. Yeah. The only thing I thought, I was worried, Green Tea had never seen the gate, so I brought him in real slow. I never really got close to the gate, to be honest. So I said to Jason, and poor Jason Merriman was just sick. And, I said, I'm really sorry. Can you school this horse? You got to put him right. Did you see him on the gate?
Yeah, they went a full lap. He just went in the jog cart because we took bikes back. Yeah. Amy took Flash Fly and Daryl took Charmer or somebody, so he went in the jog cart and
went right up on it. Good.
Well, it's probably good for him because they go so slow. Mm-hmm. He crawls around, and Jason threw him. There were 4 or 5 out there, and he threw him right up in the middle and right on it.
In the mile, he was great. His only issue is at the gate. Even when we used to train him, remember we used to train him and he'd leap and lunge forward at the start? Yeah, and dive. He tried to do that a little bit in the qualifier, but man, he's got some pop. He's fast, that horse. He was really good. Eric and Kathy have done a great job. That was the first time I ever sat behind him this year, I think. They've done a great job training him back. Mounds for All was sneaky good. Did you see his qualifier?
I only saw you coming down the lane. I was running somebody back and forth.
He was very, very good also. And I'm fancy like. I didn't realize 28 flat in the end of it. She was very, very good. And, Born to Dance kind of annoys me. It's hard to get behind. It's hard to start a Born to Dance fan club because he's just so rude and ignorant with his mouth. Fight you and just pull you all over the place. And he went and did his work. And I said to Jason, I said, we were looking to enter the horses this week and the opportunity to come up to race Born to Dance, but we would have had to price them. I personally don't have a problem with it, right? Nobody's going to claim a horse out of there. It's not like he's a diamond in the rough anyway. He's a decent...
With the Pacers, we looked him up quick when we talked on the phone that night. Did he pace 53 last year?
He did. He paced 53 once.
53 once and 54. So did 40 other colts in Ohio.
My theory on this is simple. We have an opportunity right now at Northfield Park to bring a number of our Buckeye or stake horses into the program this year with wins under their belt. That is the way you want to start the year. You don't want to start the year getting stretched out, chasing speed. You saw it with who was the horse last year? The 3-year-old. Oh, the Austral Hanover. Now he ended up still overcoming it because he was a true racehorse. But chasing horses that you can't beat, taking them off the gate, getting away 7th, trotting on the end of it or pacing on the end of it and going nowhere. It's not good for them, right? Go out and win a couple of races, and then all of a sudden you have the very best form of that horse going into the stakes season. I think that's an opportunity that we have right here at Northfield Park heading into the 2024 stakes season. The biggest disappointment of the day was Flash Fly, and she's such a tricky filly to drive. I know it was a lot to ask, right? To ask Jason to go out here, can you sit behind a filly that gets a little choppy, gets out of gear that you don't know, that you've never sat behind before, and just get her around, by the way, while you're sick as a dog? It's not the easiest thing to do for Jason. So I'll go with Flash Fly this week. I know Sedona Hill made a break in him. I just trained her. I turned her. We put the hobbles on her, changed her gear, went out on the track, and I turned her. I didn't want to stretch her out because she just qualified. I want to quarter in 28 seconds with her in the race bike with the hobbles on. Pulled her up, walked her back. She's ready to go. She'll be fine just like that. I had somebody message me. She looks so rough this year. She's looked rough since the first day we put harness on her.
But she did. I followed him last week with Mounds for All.
Yeah.
And I honestly, we were going so many that morning too. I didn't know who he had. I thought it was Purple. And I'm following him, and she looked good.
Yeah, in 2-4.
In 2-4.
I think they were going half in a minute or 1-1 yesterday, and she just kind of lost herself in the turn. She won't lose herself with the hobbles on.
We just race her somewhere in 2-4.
We could do that. I'm going to go with the hobble plan, but I mean, it's up to you. I mean, we could look. If you want to go through the condition sheets, maybe race her in Ocean Downs or something this week. Flamborough? London? Maybe London. We could ship her to London. So Born to Dance was adequate and in a place where he should be able to do some damage. The biggest problem with him also is it's not like you just snap him right out of there because he sees everything, right? He jumps shadows and does stupid stuff. So it makes it complicates the equation even more. So Flash Fly, very disappointed with her, but not in a sense, I'm not really blaming anybody. She's a very, very self-conscious filly, and you just have to know her, right? And if I thought you just put the hobbles on her and pitch the lines over, I would. But she's not like that.
And maybe in her defense too, you know what it's like here. They run them off.
Yeah, and she
they don't
hadn't
touch
trained.
the track.
Yeah, the track was probably.
They don't touch the track, and it's probably this deep by the time the 10th qualifier went.
Yep. So anyway,
if she's in the first or second,
who knows? Yeah, I'll go with Flash Fly. Green Tea was great. I'm Fancy Like was good. If I come wide open down the backstretch, I clear Sammy's Colt and I win the qualifier. But I also could have put her on the run, and I wasn't going to do that.
With who?
Sorry, not I'm Fancy Like Insider Trading. She was very, very good, and I'm Fancy Like was sneaky good too. Even when I looked at the line, I was a little surprised. 58-28. I said, well, she was good, but 28. Yeah, I said she's pretty good, but I didn't realize she was that good. She was actually good. Insider Trading, as I said, if I come wide open, I clear him, and she would have been great. I love this filly. She is such a nice filly. Mounds for All was good also. Prince Charmer, easy fix. Just put the hobbles on him. You know, I said to Justin, what happened? He goes, well, he put a step in and just tapped him on the tail. I shouldn't have, he said, but I know that's likely what you would have done. So
he did the same thing last year. He got to two. We trained him in the bike with no hobbles.
Yeah.
And
he can go with them. He just touches himself. He's not built. God did not build him the greatest. He didn't put a lot of time into putting him together, and he will touch himself sometimes. And when he does, sure, he gets a little touch himself and get out of gear. But that's not a problem. We'll just snap the hobbles on him. No issues with Prince Charmer. Tactical Mounds is going to be going to the East Coast right away. I know Megan's already asking me when, how long, when will she be here. Interested in wondering how she's going to be. She's going there right away. And she's ready to go right now. The one thing that surprised me...
I gave you the 2-2 shot too, getting the number off.
Yeah, it wasn't very nice.
Well,
she was very
We didn't video that day. The day I trained and come first up against 3-year-olds.
Yeah.
I come half in 58 and a bit.
Yeah, I know.
And I went another lap.
I know. She was well in hand. She was looking for me to chirp to her halfway down the lane, and I was still wrapping her up going through the wire. And the one thing that surprised me is how good she got over this track. You don't understand how important it is, how tough it is to have a top open mare. The open mares go for what, 44, 42, something like that in Yonkers right now.
Probably.
And not to denigrate them at all, but I don't think any one of them. Now, Yannick's mare is a pretty good mare. But even Yannick, I think, will tell you, I don't think they want any part of Tactical Mounds if you wanted to race her there also. So there's spots to race her all year. She's got 15 to 18 stakes all year, plus she has, if you want to go to Yonkers, I think that's a possibility. She wears boots and a head pull on the left. That's it. So anybody on earth would love to have a Tactical Mounds right now, I can tell you that. Sedona Hill, I said, was good. Sweeney punched a hole in his elbow. I didn't look at his elbow since then. How is it? Did you see it?
I think I saw it. What's today? Saturday.
I'll go look at it before we go, because He's
give him
fine.
credit. He stayed at it.
He's a tough bugger. People don't realize, and even Joel, who bred him and owns the sizable chunk of him, they don't realize how tough Sweeney is. When he's on the track, it's game time, and we can put the hobbles on him, put the elbow boots back on him, no big deal. But he wants to be. I guess if we're gonna put the elbow boots on him, we'll just leave the hobbles off him, because he never looked like he put a step into me.
No.
And he went a mile, what, 2.4, 2.2? 2.2.
Yeah.
He went a mile on 2.2.
He just took him to the back and went around. And...
So Sweeney, we'll just put the elbow boots on him. I think he still has flip-flops on too. We'll just lighten him up. Maybe just put a set of full swedges on him, take those flip-flops off. I would say. We'll have Enos look at him on Monday, I guess. Also, JK Victory. You're going to have to tell them about JK Victory, as I haven't sat behind him yet.
Surprised? Would probably be my word. I watched him when Harry got him last year, and even when he was winning in 49 in Hoosier, he'd still
bumpy,
kind of bumpy and rolly and not pretty. And I trained Thursday morning. I went a half and 15, half and 10, half and 2 in the jogger, and no issue.
He put a lot of weight on that horse too. He looks really good. Mark at Winterwood has done. Mark Adams did a great job with this horse, because he's put a lot of weight on. You have to understand too, when you get horses that are a little bit lean, they will get to themselves a lot more. They get tired quicker also. When you get a big, not fat, but a healthy, shiny looking horse, they don't make the same mistakes all the time. And this horse has put on 100 or more pounds since I saw him last. And it's surprising that he gets around the track, yes, as well as you say, but such a good horse. Such a good horse.
The first thing I said, I come in and Lauren grabbed him by the head. I said, Jesus, this is a nice horse.
Yeah.
Which he's made whatever and pace 48, 49.
Yeah.
And he's
a good horse.
Nice
But Burke
horse.
did say that. He said, turn him out, he'll come back better as a 5-year-old. He was right. He wasn't perfect as a 4-year-old.
You can see where
struggled.
he picks at the inside knee, and he is going to get in trouble going. Now, I came a half in 102.
Yeah.
Now, coming a half in 54, here's a different story.
Yeah.
But I'm honestly surprised he could come a half in 102 here.
Well, I was surprised.
That good.
It's nice, though, that we'll be able to train him down here, because I thought, how far can we get him down before we have to say, all right, he's got to go somewhere? And I know he raced here. He paced 49 or 50 here as a 3-year-old. He did race here once, but
I think he'll qualify here, no problem.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's perfect, because I didn't think that would be a problem or possible. Arson, you also went with him. I did not go with him this week. Mm-hmm. We really just put Arson and Memory and Imagination kind of in neutral. They don't really have to be ready for another 3 weeks. I think Arson will train him maybe in 57 or something here in the next few weeks, and then away we'll go with him. But I just want them ready to go end of April. Qualified the last week of April. That way, if we want to hit them with another qualifier, we can. If we want to race them, a horse like Memory fits numbers of 4, he can race somewhere. May as well get that win. If we're going to hopefully get stake wins, let's get a non-winners win out of the way so we can do that with him also. I was really, really impressed with those horses this week. Now, I didn't go with Memory. I watched Daryl train him. He looked good. I trained Pickpocket. He had the operation done, him and Lonely Lakewood. Both of them are back jogging and look good. But you went with Arson, and how was Arson?
Arson was good. I think I had I got down to the quarter bit a little slow, and kind of forgot what he was like last year at different parts. He'd get a little lazy and a little lost and stuff. And I basically had him in a coma going to the quarter pole, and I was like, hey, come on. And then it was like cakewalk.
He's such a nice horse. He can pace hard too. Oh, I didn't ask you about Purple at all, actually. How was she? Did you go with her?
Joe went with her.
How do you say she was?
Good.
Yeah. I trained her in 2-4, coming half a minute
morning,
in
Joe
the mud, and it was muddy.
She was one that didn't go 2 trips.
She'll qualify.
She just went a mile and a half.
Yeah. She'll qualify Thursday. I don't know, I keep saying that. Purple will qualify Thursday. So will Prince Charmer. Sedona. Flash Fly. Is it 4? I thought there was a couple more. Yeah, we'll probably come across them at some point. Oh, Mel Gibson. I'm not going to qualify him. For some reason, there's not really that much inflammation or soreness in his throat, but he's flipped his palate a couple of times jogging. And I don't really understand why. So, first and foremost, we're going to have to treat him. So, Dr. Tess is going to put a little cortisone in there to take the swelling out of there this week. We're going to keep him off the track and put him on the water treadmill to keep all the pressure off his throat for now. And he didn't do any of this last year. We've raced him where he had a hold of him and stuff. Never, ever made a noise, ever. So, it's a bit anomalous. I guess it's not an anomaly in the sense he's done it a few times now in the last 3 weeks, but it's odd. So we're just going to put him on the water treadmill, keep the pressure off his throat, treat him up, and he's going to leave some throat wash for him also. And then we'll just snap him in the bike maybe next Saturday and go a good mile with him. I trained him in 2.3 the other day. He was good, But again, a little odd that this is popping up the way it is, but it's nothing we can't treat. And before anybody gets too worked up, Memory and Imagination did the same thing 3 weeks ago. Made a little noise pulling up. I don't really know why, but
In Scope Fine.
In Scope
He
Fine.
scoped 18 horses the other day. He was fine.
Scope Fine. Sunny is the 5th one, and potentially Gypsy is the 6th one for qualifying. We'll see how. I thought Sunny is putting weight on. Looks good, Lauren. You guys have done a great job with him. He is putting weight on, both him and Insider Trading. It might be.
Still a no. Whatever.
There's no super rush. No. He's another horse. So Fitz was it 2?
Yeah, I guess
won the race in
fit
Delaware.
The thing here. Delaware doesn't count.
Yeah, so he fits that Iron Maiden. Is that what it's called? Yeah. So Sunny, when's that come up?
2-3 weeks.
Yeah. So we'll qualify Sunny once or twice. Make sure he fits the Iron Maiden. Do you have to pay into it? I can't remember. Do you have to fit it? When do you have to fit it by? That's something working.
Question.
Yeah.
That's,
So
if he qualifies once or twice, or doesn't qualify this week, we'd be 2.
Yeah, you're right.
At that
Yeah.
point anyway.
So Gypsy Hill, I still made my mind up what I'm doing with him. He could go to Mohawk, and I know he's going to trot around Mohawk perfect. He's going to get a little rough here. It may be worth qualifying him here and then just sending him over and racing him a couple of times there and see how he gets along. Trots a straightaways good. Does get a little bit out of gear. You guys saw it last year with him. He'll trot a 5/8 better than a half, but unfortunately half his races and the final are right here at Northfield Park. So again, it's just about getting him good and getting him situated and comfortable. Still a very fast colt. Sunny will likely qualify him this week also. Mel Gibson will not qualify this week. We'll look for next week with him. The further we get down the road with this guy, I'm probably just going to pull the plug on this Bunker Hill idea. Just send Memory and Imagination and send Mel Gibson. He fits an Almost 2 series, middle of May in Indiana. Him and Mounts for All can just head out there rather than
Be a big difference in company to start this year.
Quite a bit of difference in company. And then Brace for Landing, as I said, another horse that trained this week.
Well, you're putting him on the trailer with a horse he can't beat to go to Bunker Hill.
Yeah, that's 2 in our barn.
That's one. Yeah, there's one right
our
here he
barn.
can't beat.
And I know a lot of people go, well, Mel's a pretty good horse. Memory and Imagination say very, very
not
good
taking
horse.
anything away from Mel,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
the other horse.
So I've been thoroughly impressed with the way Memory and Imagination's come back. Pickpocket showed me some of what he was last year in his last training mile before we fixed the entrapment, so I'm eager to see what he's going to look like after. Arson is coming back really good, and I would like to see Mel Gibson push up into that upper echelon of our horses, but we really have to get this under control, and I think we will. So that's what went on this week. That's what is going on this week, the trajectory with a lot of the horses. I did want to talk to Jason about some of the babies today also.
Win 2 yesterday.
You did? I saw that. I saw you did. And a couple of them I want to talk about, both those horses, because I had projected that Freedom Hill would turn into this filly 6 weeks ago, because I have a pretty intimate knowledge when it comes to what the Hills train down, and she was exactly like the other ones we had. So
Who's the one that trained super that day for Eric, and me and Eric took off on them? Trant or Rosetta? I get them mixed up.
Rosetta. Well, both of them train great.
Off.
Yeah, both of them train good.
And I was second to him, and then the other day I was sitting last, backed her up, and came 4 wide, and was flying to you.
Yeah.
So that's yesterday. I said, okay, let's go.
Yeah, she was really good. Anyway, we'll talk about them in a minute. I did want to bring everybody an opening video, talk about what went on this week, talk about where the horses are, where they're going, how I felt all week, heading into what is getting closer to be the sophomore stakes season starting up, and then just a couple little steps past that will be all of our rookies. So we'll talk about them in just a second. What I like to do with the first of the month is mark all the horses. Now, you can't mark the ones in Ontario, you haven't sat behind them, but you have seen all the ones here in Ohio. So we're going to get to that in just a second.